Hello, everybody, and welcome to Realms Gate. We are 2/3 of the way through to Perfect Smash. We need to flawless triumph this singular little stage that we are on. We're going to be expending roughly 240 energy here. Probably a little bit less, depending on how we optimize it. One-shot King SSM, barely scraping up a kill there, but don't worry, he will do even more damage this go around. Now we've got some buffs down. Everybody's gone except for the Sherlock, who is doved and petrified and twined. SSM's probably going to finish him off here. There we go. Lovely. That's a kill. We see how Fortress goes. We'll do one more and then we'll skip probably. Just so we can get a little go around here. You see the Sherlock actually hit the, what's her name? Melissa there with his basic, though he did not land a twine, and he did not land a dove, rather. This is getting a little bit scary. We're going to have to finish this quickly because we don't have TBB laying out twines anymore. There we go. Lovely. That could have gone terribly. If the Sherlock snipes the Melissa, it's basically over because now we don't have anybody breaking us out of our crowd control. The reason I run the Betty with a mirror and not Dragon Rui is because we really, really, really need consistent crowd control here. And the Dragon Rui gets it roughly 50% of the time at the outset, and if we don't get Twine at the start of the battle, we pretty much are wiped. Which is not good. It's bad to be wiped, usually. The Drake got doved there, which is rather nice. There he goes. So I run the TBB with the mirror so that she takes a hit early on. Assassins, I believe there is at least one per stage in here. So she is usually not 1, 2, 3 enemies into the fight before she takes her first hit, at which point she will react with her P2 and then twine everybody else. You'll see the Yorm Tum there. He slapped Betty immediately, and so we got the reactive CC. So light tends to be very safe, although if the Vulcan breaks free, it's just bad news. It's bad times when Vulcan's free, because he is able to wipe pretty much your entire existence. Is SSM going to die? I fear he may at the end of this. Yes, he did. The homes hit too many times. So now what we need is DGN to finish this wave for us. Let's see if she is capable. She is going to get the kills one at a time, but as long as she's not getting hit by the Sherlock. There goes the Holmes, the dangerous one. We got rather unlucky at the start because Holmes hit SSM thrice, and he can only take 2 before he drops dead. And this is my SSM, so he is absolutely enormous. DGN getting the clear there, out-damaging SSM. And BQA getting a little bit of damage there. Not unexpected as the Lifestar holder, but given that they tend to purify burns, that's pretty good. We're going to go here, although we are not going to actually do the mine. The reason to go to the mining stage is because it actually uses less energy because there are only 3 enemies we need to kill here before we move on. So Shadow tends to look like this. They tend to be quite tanky because of the attack debuffs that go out. TBB, as we discovered last time, if she is fed energy, the 1 in 5 chance for SSM to pick an ally because of his cat Lifestar to feed energy to, she will react instantly. So that is a rather nice, rare occurrence. 20% chance, as I said, because it's 1 random ally, not counting himself, so 1 in 5. The tankiness not on display because the attack debuffs did not have a chance to leave. This is another light stage, so it should be free once the Yorm Tum hits Betty. There we go, everybody's twined. SSM is going to be the round 1 nuker, and then the round 2 nuker. He usually gets 2 to 3 rounds, depending on his chase RNG, before he swaps into his less offensive blue stance. But It is more than sufficient to clean up. Wrapping it up there. Rather nice. And now we have this one. Forest. Not the nicest. Flora's basic, I believe, is random. But then I have it set up so that Betty is the highest crit. And that means Gloria's basic will target her by default. So Betty, again, is set up so that she takes a hit very early and initiates her P2 twines. So that's how I sort of prefer to tackle forest waves. Shaho's completely obliterated there. He put up a valiant effort, I suppose. But yes, we will proceed. We're going to grab a little crystal here. There are enemies, which is fine. Crystal of Puppet. We're going to do Shadow again so that we can have the tankiness on display. Never mind, Betty got the thing again. So it's rather embarrassing that I called that out and then it didn't work out. But I'm sure we will find other Shadow opponents, and then Betty definitely will not get it. The odds of her doing that, again, not very large. SSM currently puppeted, so you'll see he's not going to get the chases there. But that also means he's not going to expend much, if any, of his little awakening energy stat. So he waited until this round before swapping to blue, which is cool. There we go. Staged Edge. Abyss doesn't tend to be very scary at all. Delasium hits 3 random, and then Natasha attacks. So, again, TBB triggers her P2 rather early since she will target TBB as the lowest HP. The mirrors trigger the reactive CC from the P2 at the start of every subsequent round after the first one. It's a dove on our last poor Gaggy there. And dead. Perfect. We'll see how this one goes. Again, it should be pretty easy. TBB getting her little 1 in 5 chance there. Not bad. SSM not killing, but the slack is picked up immediately after by one of our dear supports. Quite nice. Chase is going out. Not bad at all. And there goes Urania. Lovely. Moving on. We've got this one. Fortress. We'll probably skip some of the easier fights here. TBB getting the 1 in 5 again. The odds not very high. It's been rather high rolly today, which is surprising. That doesn't tend to happen very much. But it's quite cool. Holmes Young being very kind, not hitting our SSM at all. Very cool. Full energy feed here. 10 attack buffs on that SSM. Dropping the Holmes. Leaving only Sherlock. And that's going to be a wrap on that. Perfecto. Let us move on. We've got 2 Vulcans, although this is called Asmodel the Dauntless, so it's a little mistake on DH's end, which is weird because DH never makes mistakes. Haha. Tassilago free, dodging the twine. If it is going to happen on a stage, it is either going to be this one or Dark, given that they get 24% control immunity, plus light heroes tend to have some inbuilt control immunity of their own. Not that we can't overcome it, as you can see there. Dove, twines, petrifies, CC all over the place. So now we're going to do another Shadow one, and TBB definitely won't get her little 1 in 5 chance this time. There we go. So we get the attack debuff on the SSM. We get the reactive twine from TBB there. Support's going out, doing their things, but you'll notice SSM didn't get super close to getting a kill. Gets the attacks again, not doing very much damage at all. Again, that attack debuff, rather brutal. Whole back line is taunted, which is rather humorous, if I do say so myself. Phoenix coming in, doing a little buff. SSM still failing to kill there. Lots of attack debuffs, or large singular attack debuffs. Regardless, SSM's attack is lower, and so he takes much longer to kill. That's the wave, or at least it would have been. Azrael came back at the last moment, try to redeem himself. fight back for his team. It's not going to work out very well for him. Yeah, that's an unhealthy Azrael, I must say. DGN keeping pace with SSM almost, about 66%, two-thirds of his damage, which is very impressive because SSM has thrice her attack stat and targets everybody, whereas DGN targets four but tends to do most of her damage on a single hero. So that is wickedly impressive that she was able to hold pace with him. Quite cool. SSM grabbing a kill on the Orm Tum instantly. Twines all around. Feeling pretty good about this. Vulcan and Eos both petrified by that BQA. Phoenix coming in. And this ought to be the end. Yes, indeed. Pow. We've got another Fortress one. We'll watch the start and then we'll skip it once we see that we have global twines. That's the perfect RNG there. We like to see that. The homes hitting the Betty there. Feels good so far. And then we're going to skip this. Yeah, there we go. Looks good. Perfect. Let us move on. 129 energy left. We might run out towards the end here. I'm going to go towards the Abyss because we would prefer a stronger Abyss team than I would a stronger Dark team because Dark tends to be one of the scarier ones. Speaking of them, I don't think we ran into any Dark heroes quite yet, which is rather lucky because they tend to be the ones that end the runs there. Again, there's an assassin targeting TVB, so running TVB with her mirror does tend to be a very reliable strategy over the Dragon Rui in this case. Again, SSM not doing a very good job killing there because the attack hath been debuffed. Phoenix coming in. Chasing on 5, failing to get a kill at all. Rather poor performance from SSM, I must say. TVB down. So this is turning into something of a nail-biter. Azrael comes back. Seems the attack buff is gone, though, which is quite nice. There we go. Getting the kills. And there goes the wave. Quite nice. Our big 3 there doing their damage. Although I would hesitate to call BQA part of the big 3 damage dealers. That is not her job, typically. Regardless, lucky again, Flora hitting the TVB there. Pow, Flora dead instantly. Gloria is going to be dying soon after. And global twines on the remaining 4. Down goes 3. Garuda remains, but not for long, as she is dubbed, twined, feared, and maybe taunted. There's the taunt. Now she's dead. Perfect. We've got Abyss, and then 2 Shadow groups coming up. Delacium hits the TVB off-rip, which is perfect. Welbeck and Natasha dropping dead. CC landing just fine on the remaining quad. 2 more casualties. Morax will be soon to go. Might not even make it into the next round. Oh, he does, but barely. And that leaves Gaggy. Pow. Dedge. Quite nice. 2 back-to-back Shadow teams should not be any kind of issue. Got the twines there. Pow. SSM dealing some sort of significant damage, which is nice to see. Another active skill coming right up. Failing to kill. Maybe his next one will be sufficient to do so. Now that I think about it, I should have DGN slower than the Melissa. Oh yeah, there we go. Pow. Gorgeous, gorgeous active skill. So that she can move around the DRR, damage reduction, making the enemies take more damage. Bam. Yeah, definitely should change that, but it be too late. We have already begun. Getting many chases, although it didn't work out super well in terms of killing. Phoenix buff comes out. BQA quite nice in that she allows the Phoenix to actually function. TBB is gone, so we need to end this very quickly here. We've got a dove and a kill from the DGN. There we go. And one more remains. There we go. Pow. Quite good. Trial of Puppet. We are lucky enough to be on a trans one. I believe that these buffs apply to both ally and enemy, although I cannot confirm. We got the Trial of the Bulwark, which is quite nice. This one doesn't tend to be super dangerous. I have this one called Dot Boss because I only tend to die to the dots. You'll notice that HHA is on here. I will assert till the day I die that HHA is good. I am not able to outspeed these guys, which means I'm not able to heal my team and apply debuffs to them or buffs to myself until after they've attacked. HHA has been most invaluable to my team's survival for these puppet waves, because it's the only way we're really going to get shields out consistently. So I love HHA still to this very day, and he is not even a homeowner. Perhaps some other time, whenever I build up a Starwing Jara, to take his place as SSM's tenant, but until that day, a tenant he shall remain. A rather convenient tenant, I must add, because you just like HHA to have a big attack stat. You don't need him to have skill damage or anything like that. And tenants conveniently also just like to have a big attack stat, so you don't have to change his build very much whenever you have him built like this. His tenant form tends to be his most optimal actual gameplay form. Aside from perhaps you don't want to deploy him with a flag necessarily, you'd like him with a crown like I have him here. Oh, there we go. Nice damage there. I'm going to remember to swap back to my actual team here. So Realms Gate team, there we go. If you recall the last one, which was a bit of a disaster, I failed to do that, and that resulted in a big fat loss towards the end of our little chain of victories, and that was rather embarrassing. So as long as I don't do that this time, we should be sitting pretty and comfortable. Quite nice. Bam. There they go. Quite nice. Lovely. The Shadow team next. Let us keep going. TBB takes the hit. 6 twines. 1 kill. BQA's active goes out. It's 2 dead, but Azrael instantly comes back. That's not good. Did you see how little damage that was? That was kind of bad, eh? But, you know, it is what it is. As long as we aren't perishing, somebody on my team will kill them. Be it DGN or SSM, they will die. And then I will laugh at them immediately after. Yeah. Reset comes very soon. By the way, how absolutely terrible is this event, eh? Nobody's getting any of those bonus rewards because either DH didn't calculate what the odds actually were of the Zodiac thing, or they calculated the odds and deployed it anyway, knowing full well that it was so much worse than all the other ones. I'm hoping we get lucky. Yes, this is the one that we wanted. You don't need to expend any energy here, and you also get some crystals, which is quite nice. Let's see here. Crit damage I don't need. You'll notice that these actually are buffed according to the Awaken. So S and above gets 55% crit damage on the backline, which is crazy. Ally block, I don't think we're going to be missing blocks anyway, but an S tier in the front line would get 60% block. And then this one over here, this is perfect. Backline allies all damage dealt. S and above gets 30% all damage dealt. So we are going to take that one absolutely. We'll go over to the forest one. And now we should start to see SSM racking up some nice damage here. Here comes the active. Vulcan is free, which is not good, but you'll see there we got 3 kills off rip, which was quite nice. We have one more chance for TBB. There we go. Twined the Vulcan, which is quite nice. Yeah, you'll notice SSM's damage increased rather significantly. Quite good. This is a Defierless SSM for those who are unacquainted with my hero bag. We will see. I'll show that off at the end here, hoping we get the perfect clear. But if not, I'll show it off anyway, just because it would be helpful, I am sure. No kills there, but we got some bad chases, so I'm not too upset about it. That is an expected result. Vulcan dies to some sort of damage over time. SSM clears 4, and here goes the Yorm at the very end. Pow. Dead. Lovely. We've got the Fortress team. Shouldn't be too bad. Holmes hitting the SSM once, which we can take. As long as we aren't taking 3 hits, we are good. We can take even a second one. But 3 is where we start to run into problems. Bam. There we go. Perfection. Round 4 victory. Round 3 victory, rather, for us. Perfect. We've got a dark team. This one is going to be rather scary. I find that it helps to level up your dodge offset star spawn if you do not have your star spawns maxed and you need to move stuff around. Dodge offset tends to be a relatively high priority one. Drake and Carrie are both on the dark team, and they tend to be rather intimidating. Bam. Perfect. Alrighty. Here is Team Dark. 4C's landing the basic on the SSM, and then Drake hitting the TBB. You'll notice Drake did not get twined, rather scary. 4C's is dead though, which is nice. He tends to be their primary damage dealer. TBB drops dead, so we're going to need to clear this out rather soon, or we are going to perish. SSM dodges the carry energy drain, which is nice, and finishes the wave just like that. The round 1 Reaper, this guy is. Ignoring Williams, anyway. We're going to use the puppet one right here. Pow. There we go. And then this one does what? We don't need that. So we'll just see what these puppet fights look like. They are rather simple. Basic attack. You'll notice they're also rather squishy. So yeah, not very intimidating. I say we just skip these fights. Shadow puppet, not scary at all. Victory. 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 There we go. We have 36 energy remaining. Which means we might not have enough energy to do this. This one is a dark force. This one is a transcendence force. I think I would prefer to do the dark while also accepting a buff statue here. So backline allies, all damage dealt. I mean, I think we take that one. We'll go against these these forest dudes here. More all damage dealt for the SSM, which feels quite good. Active skill hitting quite hard. Leaving only the front line. And I think you're probably getting tired of my commentary at this point. So what we can do is we can talk about how I would like to take the account in the future. So, as you can imagine, meta gets a little bit stale after a while. I used to be a huge fan of the debuff meta, and now it has gone too far into that direction because, well, Alakita just kind of kills you. And since you want Alakita to die in things like Ace, she just doesn't get to move on into subsequent fights, so it's just not really very fun. A sustained meta would be humongous, although I can't picture any easy counters that would shift us away from Alakita at this moment in time. Taunt would do it, I imagine, if we could find a way to reliably taunt her. That would be rather cool, rather interesting. But Yeah, I don't really see an easy way to do this. Bam. 2 kills, 4 remain. Not going to be a problem. Bam. 3 petrifications from the Arania. And that leaves 2 more. And they are dead. Dedge. Perfect. Alrighty, almost done. Because I do not wish to have 2 subsequent back-to-back abject failures, we are going to go into our void inventory. We're going to use this crystal of weakness. And now we should have just enough energy to send this away. So we're going to go for this one first. There we go. TBB got her 1 in 5 chance, which is cool with me. Although, given the presence of assassins, it tends not to interact with fight outcomes very much. This is more of a neat little thingy that can happen than a game-deciding event. Blue form SSM finishes the job on Sherlock. We have a forest team. Gloria, you see there, because she targets highest crit, targeted the TBB. As I mentioned before, I run TBB as highest crit on this team. And this will be that. There we go. Last but not least, the Trial of Plunder. Challenges the ability to cope with debuffs. Well, we are going to equip our dot boss team, and we are going to send them in. So we'll notice here, the entire back line taking a rather significant amount of damage, and those shields would not be present if it weren't for the HHA. So he is being rather heroic on this team here. Very nice. Yeah, could you imagine taking all of those? That would be deadly. Absolutely deadly. But SSM already beginning to chip away. I have the Auspicious Lucky Cat on the Arania. I have crowns on HHA, DGN, and PDE, and a mirror on the Melissa. You'll notice we are absolutely riddled with debuffs. We are not going to care, though, because we have so many buffs of our own and debuffs on them that we can outlast and fight back. And now it is just a matter of time before SSM swaps to his offensive mode. Debuffs being placed on them. DGN getting a kill. Rather significant. She is just an absolutely wicked hero. I think, barring TBB, she's just far and away the best hero in the game. Like, in the conversation, there is DGN, and then there's TBB, and then everybody else is just miles beneath. Like, it's just not even close. They're just by far the best heroes in the game. SSM offensive stance. There goes the puppet. Crazy. Look at that. Awesome. So I can't confirm at the moment because we need 30 energy to prove that we have a perfect smash. But I would call this a victory in my book. So that is going to be that for today's video. I will show us the account real quick. Here we go. I tend to be a hater of A-tier supports and tenants because they are completely unnecessary. The exception is DGN, because she is a pseudo damage dealer. As you saw, she put up a pretty serious display, 52 million attack, giant killer defier, armor break. I would prefer skill damage or holy damage as the third one, but hey, I'm not going to complain. It's an A tier Nat, who I picked up for like 22,000 star gems, which is very good for today's market, I think, because DGNs are nowhere to be found. A B tier BQA, 6.299 thousand attack on the Awaken, pretty good. Control immunity, control precision, not a big fan. I would prefer DR, but hey, what can you do? 80 million because she has a rather big life star. 4-star on that. Quite good. And then the man himself, 150 million attack, Star Swordsman Mockman. Absolutely amazing. I love this guy. He is a bottom of the barrel in terms of the average stats for the S tier. You can see he can be upgraded 19 times for this. So if I pull an S tier, unless it's a very expensive one, I'm feeding it directly in here. And the S tier gives roughly 26,000, close to 27,000. We'll just go with 26. But 26,000 points, and it takes 2,400 to do that. So 26,000 to 6,000 divided by 2,400 means this bar gets filled about 10 times, which means a whole heck of a lot. I think that would take him to SSS attack, so I would love to see that happen one day. And this stat would go through the roof. Giant Killer, Twine Immunity, Skill Damage, Armor Break, still not an ideal roll. I want Giant Killer to fire, and then some combination of Holy Damage, Holy Armor. No, Holy Armor needs to be on that roll, I think. Giant Killer to fire, Holy Armor, and then some fourth stat, be it Skill Damage, Holy Damage, Twine Immunity, Stun Immunity, something like this. I don't want Hunter's Focus, because I don't like having a high crit. But yeah, that's what we're looking for in terms of our Awaken. Here is this. This is my most successful built Max B+, 7.3k attack on the Awaken. Quite nice tenant. Here's my HHA, 7.1, with a little bit of soul power on there. Quite good. And then all my B tiers, these are all max B tier at around 6,000. MFF, I just needed her to be fast, so she's not a tenant. This one is a tenant, so 5.5. Quite good. Here's the Alakita. Here is the Sun Wukong. I don't need him to be a tenant right now, so I just have control immunity, offset, and control precision for him, so he has a high stun chance at the beginning. I tend not to use it very often, but it's nice when I can't use TBB or prefer not to use TBB, which, yeah, that's quite good. Rather fun account here. Here's my Jara. CI offset, CPrec. In case I want to build my SWJ, I would be upgrading this one from here, probably to max B. I don't much build B pluses anymore because the market is trashed, and so it's just extremely expensive. I might even start looking for an A tier Jara if I can get a higher attack than 7.1, because then I'd be able to use her as the tenant, free up HHA for his own home, and then use Jara, not here, as a Sealand Shadow hero, because Sealand Shadow is lacking. I have Sealand 40, which I didn't make a video about, I don't think, but it's been posted on the Discord multiple times. So if you know me on Discord or want to find me on Discord, you can there. Light, I did the other day. I definitely didn't post a video about this. I did that with a 107 million attack DGN and a Tree 5 Sun Wukong, and everybody else was T5 or less. I mean, yeah, E5 or less, rather. So only 2 heroes with tree levels or above. Rather awesome, I must say. And then Fortress, I have my sights set on next because I have 2 Nirvana Fortress heroes, HHA, and SFX. I have a Luna, which is kind of cool, and then I planned to build a Star Alchemist Holmes Young for the purpose of clearing that, or at least helping. So if I can do that without an A tier, could you imagine a non-A tier clear of a Sealand 40? That would be wicked. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'll show you the treasure train real quick. It's gotten rather large lately, I must say. 17 million attack, quite good. And then, of course, since we did Realms Gate, we need to show the Realms Gate treasures. So, they're not very significant. This is probably by far my least upgraded of them. But yeah, this is what the treasures be doing. In terms of the... Yeah, I'm not showing off any secrets. Here's the dot boss setup, in case you were interested. Enjoy. I tend to prefer one setup that I can use on all puppets, not necessarily one optimized team for each puppet unless it's needed. If there's demand for content like that, I might send in a weaker team against each puppet to try to tease out what might be the optimal setup for each one of them. But most people are not interacting with Realms Gate 170. If you recall in my last one, here's my Realms Gate setup. If you recall in my last video, I said Realms Gate 170 was probably close to Chapter 8 in difficulty. So not easy by any means at all. We've got 2 more chapters of Void Campaign, which by the way is insane. But I hear we're going to be getting more content soon. My guess is that it's going to be Tower of Oblivion, because this thing has been cleared for absolute ages. Floor 651? What? I've never seen that before in my entire life. But yeah, Tower of Dreams will go in here. Has been cleared for absolute ages. I think I'm down here. There's Mudang, rather cool, who is a famous hippo. There's me, number 96. Very nice. I'm not quite on the leaderboard for Void Campaign, but I mean, I can't really be bothered at this point. Takes too much time, and my team is not apt to take it on in full force quite yet. Eventually, perhaps. But I want Defier on there, and I definitely want Holy Armor, because otherwise it's just too friggin' annoying to push that. So, have yourselves a lovely day. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned, maybe for more content. I don't have any other content ideas, so might be a while till the next one. Regardless, bye-bye.